Ross, Nevada, Vitality Center, Rural Nevada Housing, Impact Payments, and Priority Plus Financial and Insurance Group. Elko Live, promoting critical discussions important to rural Nevada. And now today's program.
Thanks, listeners, for joining us. Here we are on a beautiful Friday afternoon. It's Friday, and we're on the doorstep of a brand new month. Our guest today is Julie Gabrielson, Nevada Department of Wildlife Conservation Educator, and it's fantastic to catch up with you, Julie. Welcome in studio.
Thank you so much. It is a beautiful Friday out there.
Yes, it is, and folks are already out hunting and scoping it out and getting out there, and you guys are busy with special events and activities.
Very busy. Yeah, you'll actually find us tomorrow night out at the Elko Convention Center for the Conservation Film Festival. That's Saturday the 30th at 6 p.m. with we'll have a table, there in the early part of it where we'll have I believe they have raffles there and 12 conservation films to watch. It is free to the public, so you can check out more about that, I believe, through the California Trail Interpretive Center. I believe they're the hosts for it. So if you have any questions about it, go to their website. You should be able to see it under their events page. We've also got the Great Basin Workshop happening Saturday, October 7th at 8 from 8 a.m. until 2 out at the Lamoille Canyon's Powerhouse Picnic Area. That's run by the Nevada Outdoor School is who's hosting that, with various programming and activities centered around the Great Basin region. And we'll also be participating in that, presenting on just general wildlife that you'll find out here in the Great Basin area.
So that'll be an educational opportunity. Is it for families or?
I believe so. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's open to all ages, and I believe it's free as well. You can find out more from Nevada Outdoor Schools about that one.
Great. And I know you'll have your ladies busy in helping with these conservation efforts.
Yeah, it'll actually be me out there tomorrow night, Saturday, at the Convention Center at the Conservation Film Festival, along with our new AmeriCorps member, Tom. So we're going to be out there at that. And then I believe one of the Nicole's is at the one on October 7th. Yep.
And I just looked up to make sure, because I think, Julie, this conservation, I think it's at the museum. Unless did they move it?
Because
and I was like, if we're recording this, we can back up. But
yeah.
we're live. So, but you've got Convention Center.
We might. The notes that Nicole gave me does say the Convention Center. So double check on that, folks, because I also thought it was at the museum. Mm-hmm. And when I saw the notes, I thought the same thing. Okay. They must have moved it. So confirm that if it's either at the museum or at the Convention Center, and confirm that before you show up tomorrow evening.
Oh yeah, and they're so close by. It's like anything else in Elko. Just pop over if it's one place or the other.
Right around the corner from each other for sure.
Perfect. So obviously the school programming is in full swing, and various groups talk about how important NDOW programming at Library, the Senior Center. I mean, you guys are doing a terrific job in outreach, Julie.
Thank you. We do. We definitely are getting out there. Nicole St. John is fantastic with finding new opportunities and very unique opportunities to get our message out and some of our programming out. So she is in all different avenues. She is just out there, just got her fingers entwined in it, which is great. And that's what we want. Yeah. That's a part of what we do, is just, educating the general public about what Department of Wildlife is and how we get to play and what we can do for everybody else out in the outdoors.
It's a wonderful inspiration, and they're great role models too for other students and people considering careers, because we need to keep this going, right?
Yes. And I got to tell you, as a high schooler, I never knew jobs like these existed. And so that's a big part of what we want to do, is plant a little bug in there, let these kids think about it and think about all the different cool opportunities that are out there to them that may not be presented to them or offered to them in another avenue.
That's right. So another great plug for the college career fair. Actually, it's the school district's career fair, which is also coming up later this month. Get in touch with Nicole Steele. She'll be happy to help you. Did I say Nicole? Heather. I'm looking at Nicole. There's a lot of Nicoles and Heathers out there. We love you all.
Happy Friday, folks.
Happy Friday. Can you tell we're ready to be on with other stuff today? Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Julie, thank you. So yes, Nicole St. John, if you need more information about any of these cool programs.
Yeah. And we've got lots of different opportunities that we can bring to you. We've got some long time established programs that we kind of fall back on, our Skins and Skulls programs and tracks and scats, things like that. But we can kind of customize a little bit too if you've got a very specific request. Nicole is great with that, and the rest of the team, we all jump in and can help accommodate that depending on what it is that you're looking for. So give her a call, 777-2391. She is happy to help work through all of that with you.
All right. And then on to another favorite topic, which is fall fishing.
Fall fishing, yes. Our fall fly say that 6 times fast. Even try it 2 times fast.
I was leaving it up to you.
Fall fly fishing clinic. Yeah, that actually was canceled for this weekend. Unfortunately, we had some instructors that had to cancel on us, and then on top of it, we're expecting some pretty good weather tomorrow.
Oh, that's
so we
right.
did cancel that fall fly fishing clinic. I got it out that time. However, our progressive fly tying classes will begin on November 1st. That class occurs every Wednesday at 7 o'clock from November until March, with the exception of some of the holiday weeks. And it happens right at the Elko NDOW office in our big conference room. Each week you learn a new skill to go with a new type of fly, and you go home with 3 new flies each week. You can contact Nicole Hamlin, 777-2388 for more information on that. And you can get signed up for that as well through her. It's really a cool program. We pay for everything for it. There's no cost to you to come in and participate in that.
Nice. Any age-specific requirements?
If you bring some of your younger kids in, they just need to be able to manipulate the material and the tools. So I would say 8 and older. If you've got a child that's really, really handy and coordinated, then maybe a little bit younger, but I would say 8 and over, maybe a little bit older. And then there's no top out age on that. Anybody can enjoy it. It is a fun class, and it's run heavily by our volunteer instructors, and which we always need more of. Fly fishing, fly tying, hunter ed instructors, all kinds of volunteers that we can put to work for us. And so those dedicated angler instructors are what really make this program take place every year.
Yeah, in fact, Jill Tingey was just in talking about the local 4-H programs. They depend on volunteers too for shooting sports, and so that really ties right in with what you do, and archery, which is also what NDOW does. And
absolutely, yeah. And when it comes to our volunteers, we are always on the lookout for new members. They are a very essential part of our team. And whether you're passionate about fishing, shooting, hunting, wildlife viewing, I mean, there's so many different avenues. Even wildlife, like game cooking, big game cooking. There's so many different ways that we can take your passion and your talent and turn it into a program to present it to the public. And really, get the public involved in it and learning these new things, different, knife sharpening to, ammo loading, you're reloading your own ammo. Muzzle loaders. If you're really good with muzzle loaders and you have a passion about teaching other people how to use muzzle loaders, we even have some of the equipment that you don't have to use your own equipment to teach them that. So we really try to be very broad and open-minded to the different possibilities out there for getting people involved in the outdoors and really enjoying it.
That sounds great. Julie Gabrielson from Nevada Department of Wildlife is our conservation educator. And you don't have to be an expert. Just give them a call, give Nicole a call, and volunteer what you got.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Nicole, her phone number again is 777-2388.
Perfect. So now we're on to this topic of hunting. Hunting season is well underway.
Well underway, in full swing. It's been going since early August. There's still some widespread road damage done by all of the storms that we've had over the last several months. Some was done in the winter storms that we had, and some was done just what we had at the beginning of September and late August. So really pay attention to that. If it looks sketchy, just turn around and don't go that way. It makes for no fun when you end up getting stuck and have to be hauled out of there, and you create that extra little bit of drama to your hunt that really is not supposed to be any drama at all. So just be really smart about the road conditions while you're out there. Our upland game opener is October 14th. That's for chukar quail, Hungarian partridge. You can find small game guides in the office at 60 Youth Center Road. So you can come on in and pick up your small game guides. Those are available. And then something else to think about is the chronic wasting disease and our management of that. CWD is a fatal disease for deer, elk, moose, all caused by a misfolded protein or prion. Nevada remains free of CWD at this time, but it is in our neighboring states. So we're really trying to do our due diligence in testing as many big game animals as we can to see if we're showing any indicators of it. State law does dictate that the Nevada hunters that hunt out of state, they're not allowed to bring any portions of the spine or brain matter in of their big game animals that they bring in from out of state. We are offering numerous check stations throughout the season between Ely, Austin. We're still trying to dial in a BOW check station. And these are really critical, and I cannot encourage our hunters enough to be out there and participate in these check stations and these samplings. The more samples that we get, the broader we can go on it and know that we're doing as best we can to sample as many animals as we can to make sure that we're not seeing any sign of it. So there's a couple different options. You can check in at one of these check stations. Those check stations are going to start October 7th. Pretty much every weekend through the end of October. So October 7th, the 8th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 28th, and the 29th at Ely and Austin pullouts for sure. So it will be Ely Loves is where you'll see our check station there. And then like I said, we're still trying to confirm our BOW stop station, and I'll get that information out as soon as I can as well. Those are open all day long. And we have biologists there that will actually take care of it. All you've got to do is bring your animal to them, and they will take care of removing that sample that they need. If you're comfortable and you want to do your own self-sampling option, you can get a kit from us that you can take out into the field with you. And there's even QR codes that we can send you to download the application for it. You receive the kit, and it even shows a video describing the process, and then you just return the kit back to us for that sampling. And then last but not least is you can bring them to our office, to any of the NDOW offices, but be sure to call ahead and make sure, because this is one of our field seasons, so we do need to make sure that somebody that is able to do the sampling is in the office when you bring them by. So we offer several different options for getting that CWD check and those samples to us.
All right, great news. And of course, a way that you can help as sportsmen and women to keep this chronic wasting disease out.
Absolutely.
The sooner, the sooner you can detect it, the better it is to eradicate it. That's the whole premise too, right?
The sooner we know about it, the sooner we can start working on it.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Yep. So that's part of the process. Another way that you can get help from people who are out adventuring, right, this season.
And this is just another way that you can volunteer for us without even really knowing that you're volunteering for us. And our hunters and our adventurers that are out there just exploring the country that we are so blessed to live in, because this is just amazing country up here. Like our guzzlers, if you come across any of our water guzzlers, or any of our big game guzzlers or small game guzzlers, those are the man-made water sources that we provide for many different types of game out in the field. The past winter and even recent storms can be really hard on those. So if you notice any damage to any of them, structural issues, fence problems, any kind of discrepancies that you see in the water levels, give us a call about that and let us know the location of the guzzler. A lot of guzzlers, if you've got a guzzler map, they'll even have names. You can tell us the name along with the location, and then we can make sure that we add it to any repair and maintenance that we need to do on guzzlers around the area. Additionally, bighorn sheep and the domestic sheep interaction, that is something that we really want to make sure is not happening. So if you ever see any bighorn sheep in areas that domestic sheep are, that's another topic that we would like to know about, and bring us some information on the location.
All right.
And you can just call the front office and let us know.
Okay, that's what I wondered too. And important to know, because these guzzlers are important in the winter. People may not think about that. They think, oh, they have snow, that's water to drink, but they need the guzzlers.
They do need the guzzlers, and the winter is important to fill the guzzlers as well, because it's kind of twofold there. So it really is an important factor that we need to make sure that those guzzlers are up and running year round.
All right. And we also have, I guess, some tips for people to avoid unfortunate encounters with law enforcement, right? There are a lot of rules to pay attention to.
Absolutely. And I mean, all of our law law enforcement. They are really, really great law enforcement officers. But they still have to, enforce the rules and regulations that we have out there. So some reminders: increased hunting near residential areas, Spring Creek, Pleasant Valley, Lamoille, South Fork. These are really things to take into consideration when you're picking your hunting area, or if you see an animal out there that's in your unit. Pay attention to where that animal is and where you're hunting nearby. We don't want to see animals that are wounded go into private property and you not be able to recover them, or any other incidences that might come from that, from hunting too close to those residential areas. Also, know your target, species identification, and is really, really important to know. The difference between a moose and an elk. Know the difference between a deer and an antelope. If you have any questions about it, we've got lots of resources in the office that can help dial in the differences between them for you. Additionally, multiple animals in your sight window when you're actually getting ready to take that shot. Really pay attention to that, because it's more common than a lot of people would like to think that it is, where more than one animal is hit with a single shot because there's too many animals too close together. So really watch that. Make sure that those animals are not stacking up behind each other, and that you're not going to have an accidental double when you really don't want to do that. Some other common violations: shooting from across a road, loaded firearm in a vehicle, carrying another person's tag, and the failure to punch your tag. So those are very common violations for us that you need to pay attention to. Additional boating safety, because it's still boating season. We've got some beautiful weather happening out there, so we're still seeing boats out there on the waters. Still lots of open water. We're not even seeing anything starting to cool down enough to start, closing those waters down. So that applies to all water vessels, not just your motorized boats. Wear your life jacket. Anybody under 12 is required to wear that life jacket. You're required to keep enough life jackets on board for anybody that is on board. And this goes with paddle boards and kayaks. You need to wear those PFDs. These are life-saving devices. We have so many fatalities every year. We have fatalities every year that really could have been prevented had a PFD been in use. And that's the personal flotation device, is what the PFD is.
Yeah, and it is important to note that, especially for parents, the floaties, inflatables, those are not PFDs.
No, they're not. You've got to have a properly fit, life jacket that you are wearing, and that it's properly fit. And there are different fits for different, body types and for different ages. So, a fit for an infant is going to be different from a fit for an 8-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 25-year-old. So really pay attention to those fits as well, because that plays a critical component in there.
All right. And then with people out accessing their public lands, the OHV is so popular. There are so many makes and models, and I know it makes the public lands accessible for people who especially may have disabilities or, getting a little older, but love being outdoors. Just again, a few things to remind people of to recreate responsibly, Julie.
Absolutely. And that goes whether you're in a motorized vehicle or on foot or on hoof. I mean, no matter how you're out there, we want you to recreate responsibly. And that goes back to, respecting those private lands and those property boundaries. Stay on existing trails and 2 tracks. It's really dry at times. And we want you to be careful out there when it comes to fire hazard. Pick up what you didn't leave. I mean, we definitely want you taking out whatever you take in, but don't hesitate to pick up a little bit extra, because unfortunately not everybody does take out what they bring in. And unfortunately, some people don't realize they've left something behind. So we all play a responsibility, or we are all responsible for helping out with that while we're out there. And the more that we are all doing it for ourselves, the better that it just continues to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, keeping it clean. And in addition to respecting private property, there are lots of ways now that using new technology that people can report something that might be a little suspicious, or that gives them pause or reason for concern, right? With Operation Game Thief.
Yes, yeah. Operation Game Thief. And that's a phone number. You can even keep it in your phone. Just dial it in there and plug it into your contacts. It's 800-992-3030. You can also download the NDOW tip app. And these can all be 100% anonymous whenever you make a phone call. So like you said, if there's something suspicious out there, whether it be a carcass on the ground that just looks like, I don't know that this looks like, it should have been here and it's been done correctly, all the way to seeing something, with humans on the ground and an OHV walking across the field, whatever it may be, call it in, send in the tip. Again, you don't have to leave any contact information regarding it, and then our law enforcement will follow up on it.
And always good advice, though. Don't try to take the situation into your own hands.
Never. Yeah, never take it into your own hands. Don't approach anybody out in the field. If you see it from a distance, stay at that distance and just take as much information as you can. Pictures and video are always incredibly helpful, so don't be afraid to try to do that. Just don't approach. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good idea to approach something, because if in fact there is some suspicious thing going on, they're going to be on edge anyways. And so
Right.
there's no use in approaching them, because it does risk your own safety then.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to just be about hunting. It could be if you suspect an illegal growing operation or some sort of clandestine drugs or...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay away from it. Take a location, take videos and pictures, as much information as you can, and bring it back to us.
All right, sounds good. We're on to the topic of diversity. And hey, with October here, it's bat migration season. The bats are following suit.
It is. And, you might see them in really uncommon areas, and it's not just bats. I mean, many species are on the move right now for migration. They're already starting. Oddly enough, I actually had 2 bats in my house just in September. We hear about, we get a lot of phone calls from folks that see them hanging on their eaves or on their screens. And what's happening is they're just kind of hanging out. They're resting for a little bit until they move on to their next location. So some things to keep in mind is if they're roosting outside of your property in the eaves, on trees or screens, just let them be. Just leave them alone. They're going to move on in a couple of days, if not even just after a single day. When you need to call NDOW is if you find one in a home, if a human or a pet has come into contact with a bat, or if the bat's really not behaving normally, like if it's on the ground in the daylight. Those are some considerations to take in when you're calling us. Most bats do not have rabies. However, we do submit several a year when we find them under questionable circumstances, and we have them tested. And there's usually 1 to 2 in the Elko area that come back as positive. So the big thing is don't touch them. And if they follow any of the parameters that I mentioned just a few minutes ago, give us a call and we'll help work through the occurrence with you. So
Yeah, and you had your own experience.
I did.
How thrilling.
It was really entertaining. And I say entertaining just because fortunately I knew what to do, because we help with these calls. But we've had some construction going at our house, which caused us to take down our air conditioning unit. So we've had screen doors open and windows open just to get some airflow through the house in the hotter days. And they must have just happened to, just pass through and just come in through one of the doors.
Said, well, thank you very much. I think I will.
At twilight doing their thing, chasing bugs and, going for a meal. And so it was interesting. And I got to say, it was good on my end to have experienced it, so that I know, some of the concerns as well that other people are seeing.
I had one on the outside of the house, Julie. I'm near the foundation, and it was, by the chimney. And actually, it was a sad outcome, because I think it was a juvenile. I was told that because it actually had passed away, but it was still clinging to the house.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it was kind of sad, because I'd walk past it and think, hello, and then nothing. And then finally I thought, well, and able to do the right thing, how to dispose of it, because we're not supposed to touch them, but if your gloves and plastic bags and wrap it up. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was a tiny little thing, but it didn't make it. So
nope. Unfortunately, some don't.
Yes. So that was that. So we do have some volunteers helping. I know Nicole, I can't remember which Nicole was helping out with the bird, the Pinion Jay surveys that we started doing.
Yes, and they actually just did another one for that down in Ely last night.
Great.
So they did another one of those. We do have a new region-specific bird list that we have, it's probably about 1.5 years in the works. but it's at print. We should have several copies of it that people can pick up in the Elko office here within probably the next month. And a huge shout out to the Great Basin Audubon, Low Sports, and her partners have been a huge help with that, along with like Mackenzie Jeffress and some of the biologists in the office. And again, it's coming out. The last one was done, I believe, in the 80s. So it'll be really nice to have a newer, updated, not just in the aesthetics of it, but also the species list has been updated.
Oh, that's great. And that will simply help you. I mean, you can keep it with you when you're out traveling. It's just to know what you're looking at, right?
Yes. And it's got check boxes. So, for our birders out there, our bird watchers, they can check it off as they find it in the area. And we've dialed it in pretty good. And the biologists and the Audubon Society.
The Audubons.
Yes, the Audubons have done a great job in dialing it all in.
Of course, we know birds are an indicator species. Not only do we just love them, they're fun to watch, and a lot of different things about them that are cool, but it's also good to know what's going on with the environment.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yep.
And speaking of, as we talked about fishing earlier, dive back into fishing.
Yes, to real fishing, to the actual act of fishing. Yes, new water record for a rainbow trout out of Wild Horse was last week. 8 pounds 2 ounces was.
That sounds like a baby almost.
Yeah. Pretty close.
How many inches?
Pretty close.
What's the baby's name?
Yeah, so that was an exciting, end to our summer, fishing anyways. Fishing is improving at all of the area waters with the cooler weather. Lamoille Creek was stocked with fingerling-sized trout earlier this week. We were unable to stock a lot of the waters in the spring due to all the really high stream flows. So we're catching up on some of those right now and into early October. Radio tagging for the northern pike and Cummins will occur in October. And anglers are reminded, please release the radio tagged northern pike. Please release any radio tagged northern pike and then kill the other ones that are not caught when you catch them down there at the Cummins Lake. We're trying to work on that issue with the pike down there at Cummins.
Because they're invasive, right?
They are
yes,
invasive.
And then they're aggressive and they kill other species.
And we don't know how they got in there. So we're working on all kinds of things with trying to stabilize that lake down there for fishing in general with all the other species. You can check out all of the latest stocking and fishing reports at NDOW.org. You can also go to Fish NV, which is really a cool website that you can go to and dial it in by species or water or region and what it is that you want to fish.
That's great because that can be used by everybody, visitors and residents alike.
Yes, absolutely.
fishnv.org. And you can give that one to your kids to play with safely.
Yes.
It's one that they can peruse. Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, I know we're getting close to the end of the program here, but some things that we'll discuss, Julie, but NDOW does have great educational but fun, engaging YouTube channel and other videos and lots of media that it is safe to hand a toddler to watch somebody fishing or learning
sure. Absolutely. You can set them loose on our YouTube page and see a ton of different videos and webinars that we've done over the years, from anything from big game cooking to, trout in the classroom to fly fishing. I mean, we've got a lot of different opportunities on there for people to look into and learn a little bit more about what we do.
Yeah. And it's all local. It's Nevada stuff. So cool.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, first come, first serve tags. That's what we're on to now.
Yeah. So we still got first come, first serve. Some things to remember when you purchase first come, first serve is be really aware of the season dates of the tag that you have just purchased or getting ready to purchase, and make sure that it's going to fit your schedule and distance that you might be willing to travel. So there have been some folks that have accidentally bought. They've bought it intentionally, but then realized a little bit later, oh my goodness, this is across the state from me. I can't do this right now.
Or my daughter's wedding is that weekend.
Exactly. So pay attention to that. You can pick the tags up at an NDOW office, or you can have it shipped to you. Return tags, they have to be received at the office at least one day prior to opening day of the season. Those forms you can download at ndowlicensing.com, or you can pick them up at the NDOW office. You can mail the form back to the address listed, or you can drop it off at NDOW to help complete the entire process there. Duplicate tags, if something happens and you don't have a copy of your tag anymore, fill out the form, pay $10 for a reprint, and bring your driver's license, but that does have to be done in person.
All right. NDOW office right here in Elko, Youth Center Road. Well, I think, as they say in showbiz, you have something else
I got
to
just
mention.
one more
Please
little
do.
thing. Yeah, Sunday, October 8th, Wild Horse State Park is having an event at the recreation area, and NDOW will be there from 11 to 2 with the Skins and Skulls table. But at the Wild Horse State Recreation area from 11 to 2, at the Day Use Picnic, which is in the area, I believe they've got like a lawn there. And you can join them anytime to just kind of some interactive planning materials that will allow participants to share their thoughts and ideas and even concerns related to the park. There will be some staff-led guided walks, some interpretive programs, and other activities like our Skins and Skulls table that you can see there as well. And that's open to the public and free to the public.
Well, that sounds great. Again, the date is Sunday, October 8th?
Sunday, October 8th from 11 to 2.
All right, perfect. Another free, fun thing you can do and get out and enjoy the outdoors. Julie Gabrielson, our Nevada Department of Wildlife Conservation Educator. Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a terrific weekend. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today.
95.9 K240 AI Elko, Carlin, and Spring Creek. KELK.
ABC News.